Hey everybody, we're excited to have our live today. We're going to have Kristine Butterfly uh, join us today, and Nell's not feeling well. She's here next to me, but um, she's resting, so she might comment uh, here as we get started, and we're also running a little bit delayed in bringing her in. I'll be pulling her in just a moment. But while you're joining, if you're new to uh, following us or joining our lives, tell us where you're from and tell us how you came across uh, our site, or how did we get connected. Leave a comment, maybe share something that you're going through. We love to see people coming together as they're trying to support each other with chronic pain. So drop a comment and have an opportunity to just kind of chat with us here just for a little bit before we get started, and then I'll be pulling in Kristine here in just a minute. How you doing, country girl? Great. I appreciate you joining. I was just saying that Nell's just resting here next to me, so she probably won't be she won't be on camera, but she also might just be resting through this. Um, um, how you doing? So we got Mama Stu. Where are you guys from? It's a good opportunity before we get started here to leave a comment, maybe share a little bit about what you guys are going through. I know that some of you that joined, we have you scheduled for future live, and if you're interested in being interviewed and you're not already scheduled, you reach out to me. We've got some people. We got Minnesota, Montana. Oh, that's great. We're in Utah. But thanks for joining. Let me go ahead and see if Kristine is available here, and then I'll pull her in. 1 second. Oh, thank you for the gifts. You guys don't have to do that, but thank you so much. Okay, yeah, she's not quite ready to go. So, on the eastern side, Mama Stu, is there any condition that you experience that attracted you to following us? I know that Country Girl, she shared a little bit about her condition, but while you've got some time, do you also deal with chronic pain? And we've got more and more joining. We know, especially if you if I'm not following you, sometimes people will come in and they will pop back out. We welcome you to follow us and to join us weekly as we have these lives with people that we're interviewing every week, and we hope that we'll be able to help you as we provide support to people that are trying to cope with what they're going through. And oh, good for you. Yeah, one of the things that we talk about here is that pain comes in a lot of different forms, right? And so there are people that have experienced physical surgeries, and there's a lot of different, maybe it's relationship pain, or even pain from like losing a loved one, things like that. So sorry that you had that bad experience, but it's sounding like that there's some good things happening with with your life right now, and so we really appreciate you joining us. Let me go ahead and see if we can pull Kristine in here again one more time. And here she is. So one moment. Hey, my
Hey,
friend.
Rick.
How you doing?
I am good. Give me just 1 minute. I
Okay.
am trying to. A couple people wanted me to let them know when I went live.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
The
Make the
hopefully
adjustments
this
that.
one lady will join because she actually has Alpha 1 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, hopefully that went to her.
Now this time I can
Anyway,
hear you great, and I can see you good, and we've got people that are joining us. Matt, hey, you doing? How you doing, man? Oh, I know. Matt, I think I'm going to be in the office next week, my friend. So Matt's in here. I work with Matt. We've worked at the same place for nearly 5 years. Good friend of mine, and
no,
I haven't been able to go to the office this week because we had a little bit of a COVID scare. Right, we got exposed to COVID, but Nell and I tested negative, and our second one uh, probably will as well. And so we'll go in the office twice during the week, and then I work at home. But yeah, absolutely, we'll do lunch, man. We'll plan it. Appreciate you joining. So Kristine,
thanks, Mama.
now we we met with you earlier, and it wasn't just the fact that we had some technical difficulty last time that motivated us to meet with you again. You have been following us. You were part of um, just even the recent, TikTok Purple, and you joined our Zoom call. And a lot of people have, gotten to know you and have fallen in love with you, and um, and we wanted to provide even more time for you to um, to share your story, to share things that maybe you didn't include last time. So whether that is kind of going over some of the things that we talked about that is going on with your lungs, or whether that's sharing more. We got a good full hour that's just all yours, and these get recorded and uploaded to YouTube so that people can continue to be influenced by you, my friend. You're a pretty special soul. So with that, why don't you go ahead and start us out? What's the top of your mind that you want to share with people that are joining us today?
Well, the main thing is I want people to know they're not alone. Um, there is such a community out there that is just truly amazing. I honestly never imagined when I joined TikTok that I would get all the support that I do. And it's truly mind blowing. It's amazing. The the different people you meet, it's just great. Learning about different illnesses I never knew even existed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just great, and I really love the community that we've came to build around here. But honestly, I'd like to kind of, as I think I know you see one of my posts that I did recently, um, kind of on my childhood. I kind of like to touch on that a little bit,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
also the fact of catching on fire. Um, I'd like to bring that up too,
Okay.
as well as more knowledge to the Alpha 1, and also now I'm in kidney failure, looking to start dialysis if I can ever get rid of the stomach infection I've had.
Okay.
So, so
Th-
yeah,
Are those are some things that we didn't go over last time, right?
right.
Okay.
No,
And I want you to know, Nell, she's here with me. She's resting. She's just had a pretty hard day. She was hoping
yeah,
that she'd be able to comment, but right now she's just sleeping. So she might wake, and you know how it is.
I
So, yeah,
understand. It's been a rough day for us all, I believe.
yeah. But she knows that whenever I'm doing just the interviews by myself, that I carry, her love and 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 her interest in your story, and she specifically wanted for you to be this Thursday, and so I send my uh, my my love from her to you as well.
Yeah, she's amazing, and she does need to rest for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Okay, well, so do you want to talk a little bit about some of what you talked about earlier that's going on with your lungs, or did you want to go right into some of these other things that you hadn't shared before?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, well,
Um,
whatever you want to bring up first, the floor's yours.
well, I guess we'll just start from the very beginning.
Okay.
Um, so I I had an amazing mother. I really did. I truly had an amazing mother. She was a dermatologist. She worked as hard as she could to take care of me, and gave me so much love and support. And um, I'm lost without her, truthfully. The 23rd or the third was 23 years she's been gone, and that was
Oh,
very hard.
yeah,
Um, so, I kind of started getting abused by my father at age 6, and that was no fun. Of course, my mother believed me, but my father's gonna lie. That's
yeah.
what they do. Um, and that continued for actually quite some time, but I was molested by my grandfather um, as well. And I was totally blamed for that. That was my fault because I was reaching under the old time. And if there's any young kids in here, you guys probably don't even know what I'm talking about. Rex, you probably will. Like the old time record players
Mm-hmm.
that actually had like a storage bin, like a storage section underneath it where you could keep your records or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, my toys were under there. And I had reached down to get a toy, and the next thing I know, my grandfather's hand is in my pants. So I'm kind of scared. I didn't tell my mom right away. The second time it happened, when we got home, like I wouldn't go to the bathroom or anything, and I had to go to the bathroom so bad my mom had to carry me in, and she said, "Okay, what's going on?" So I told her, and I guess her and my father had a conversation. Well, ever since then, I have not had a relationship really with my father whatsoever, and it's just been even worse since then.
So
Um,
it was your father and grandfather that you had these experience.
well, my grandfather actually physically
Yeah,
abused me, like touched me in spots he shouldn't.
yeah.
My dad was just more like mentally and physically abusive.
Oh, okay.
So, um, because I never, of course, with Alpha 1 antitrypsin deficiency, it's a genetic disease that you are born with. So I didn't feel good a lot, and I would sleep a lot as a kid, and I would lay down a lot, and I would get yelled at for doing that. And it's like, I'm not, I don't feel good, and I couldn't explain why. I just didn't have any energy. I didn't feel good. And so it just progressed to the point that um, my neighbor next door ended up raping me at gunpoint. And it happened probably 3 times. And my mom and dad sold the house. And I don't want to say I gave my mom an ultimatum, but I kind of did. I said, it's either him or me because I was tired of the abuse.
Yeah.
So I was actually going to leave my house at 15 because I was sick of the abuse. And my mom, after being married to him 29 years, they got divorced.
Yeah.
And, me and my mom moved into a beautiful home. And 3 years later, well, 2 years later, she got cancer. And she then passed away in 98. Actually, October 3rd of 98, which was 2 months to the day that my son was born. So she did get to meet my son, but I do have a child that's still in foster care, and will be at least for another 3 years until she's 18.
Yeah.
Um, Hopefully, then we'll come home, um, if I'm still here. And
You have a relationship
that
with her?
I did for a while, but foster mom, since I have gotten sicker, has kind of pulled back because she doesn't want my daughter to see me this way.
Oh, okay.
And, to a point, I understand that. But then again, to a point, I don't. Because I'd rather have memories of me, regardless how I look, than not to have memories at all.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we can still make memories. We can still, go out and eat. I mean, I do try to, stay out of places, but it it does not mean that I can't still have some kind of a relationship with her. Um, but unfortunately, at this point, foster mom doesn't want to do that. So
Okay.
I haven't been able to talk to my daughter in about a year, which is very hard. Um,
Is she your only child?
no, I have a 23-year-old that's in the army, and I also have a 22-year-old that's expecting his first baby April 1st.
Oh, okay.
um, so, and he kind of asked me to be the one to do the gender reveal party. So I'm kind of excited about that because
Yeah.
it kind of gives me something to do other than sit here. And but lately I've been doing a lot of research on different illnesses and trying to get as much knowledge of different illnesses as I can
But you
to
have,
try
it
to
sounds like
help.
you got a relationship with the other kids, the other two, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I do see my older two boys. What happened was my oldest son was molested by my husband. So my baby's dad took the oldest two, and unfortunately, my daughter was put into foster care because at the time I was in pain management, and they did not believe at that point in time that you could be in pain management and take care of a child.
Yeah.
So I argued in court for almost 5 years for my daughter to come home. And I didn't win. So I was severely severely failed by the system. As of, if it was now instead of in 2007,
Yeah.
the judge would have granted me custody right away. It's really sad that, the stigma of, even I am a recovering addict as well. I had 17 years sober September 28th. So
Well,
I am a
congratulations.
thank you.
That's a story in and
Um,
of itself, right? And the pain that's involved there. We're sensitive to that too, you know?
yes. And especially now when, I do need pain medicine again,
Yeah.
but I'm, after going through what I went through 17 years ago, I really do try to avoid
Yeah.
any kind of an opiate based,
Yeah.
even if it's an opiate antagonist, I really try to really limit that
Yeah.
unless it's, like an absolute emergency. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, I'm in pain management, but I do other things through pain management.
Yeah.
I don't
Being
get
careful.
any kind of opiate. I
What about
used to.
what about your support? Do you have like a support group? Do you have anybody that lives with you that helps to take care of things or
Um, I have my friend that helps me out quite a bit. Um, if it wasn't for him, I don't know what I would do. Um,
Oh, okay,
'Cause
good. You at least
I
have
can't.
somebody because I know one of the things that's really concerning is there are some people and maybe even those that are watching this where they they're either living alone or they don't really feel like that they have a support group, and that increases the risks of them feeling, you know, more isolated. It increases the risks of them feeling um, that they aren't really mattering in the world. It contributes to the
Right.
suicide rate in a lot of cases, and so I'm glad to hear that you've at least, and I know that what you've gained from TikTok is part of that, but of course it's also important to have someone there. So give our thanks to him for what he's doing on that end of things. You know, when the camera goes off and you know when you're not posting and things like that. Uh, people that are just there locally around you can really make the difference. And so
Yeah, I mean, other than him, and of course, you guys, my family on here, that's really all I have is him. Even my son I was just telling you about that's expecting a baby. He lives like 10 minutes from me, but I probably haven't seen him in about a year. So, in in an aspect, I do kind of feel alone and very isolated, especially during COVID. It was really hard.
yeah,
Because I don't have any friends like that I can just pick up the phone and call and say, hey, how are you doing?
yeah, and that must
Um,
be really hard. You know,
it really is. But when I got sober, I did have to change, all the people, places, and things that I was around.
yeah,
Um, which I won't lie, it did take me a couple years to do that. Even though I wasn't, doing anything, it was just I don't know. I just want to say it was just being around people and just feeling like I was part of something, I guess.
yeah. People really influence.
And then I backed away from that and started going to AA meetings and NA meetings, and then I realized like this is even worse than what I was doing. Like, so like, I backed away from that, and there's Alpha 1 support groups, but most of them are on Facebook. There's
Yeah.
not really a lot locally or anything like that. Um, so yeah, in a way, I feel I am alone, other than him and you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. Well, and I know that you've connected with other people like Misty Marvin and things, and so we never
And
can.
also Spoonie Mel.
What's that?
Also, Spoonie Mel. Like,
Mel?
I've been moderating for her, and
Yeah.
um, she did um, she did a live through the service today for Pam.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
I watched that service today
yeah,
live, so that was it.
it was very
It
beautiful.
was a funeral for Pamela Curtis today, so of end pain stigma. So now, what's that? We're hearing kind of a sound like a noise. Is that the oxygen getting pumped?
Yes,
Is that what that?
yeah, it's my concentrator.
And why do you need that again? What was the condition that you had with your lungs?
I have a condition called Alpha-1 Antitrypsin deficiency, um, which is a sorry, I've got notes in front of me so I
Oh,
can be a little
great! No,
a
it's
little
help.
bit more precise this
Yeah,
time.
no, that's great.
It is a genetic disease. It's inherited to a family member. Um, not always it not might not always be your parents, but most of the time it is. Could be a grandparent. Um, but it's passed through the parents to their children, which means that my children have it as well. And I love my kids to death, but if I would have known I had this, I probably wouldn't have had children. Only because I wouldn't want to put them through the pain and suffering that I'm going through only at
Gotcha.
41. But and it's passed through the parents to the children, through the genes. Alpha 1 results in serious lung or liver disease at any age. And I actually didn't know this, but um, Alpha 1 is like a. Where'd it go? It's very serious. It I'll find it when they go through here. But
When
it's a terminal illness that's potentially fatal. So Alpha 1 is it could be potentially fatal
it's
to your.
reduced your lung capacity to what percent right now?
Um, right now I am at 12 to 13%. When I found out I was sick, I was at 49 to 50%. I'm sorry, 48 to 49%.
And that's been how
Lung capacity.
long ago?
That was in 2014.
2014. Okay.
Yeah. So I've lost quite a bit since 2014, but
What
I
is your
had a doctor
what
tell me,
what does your doctor say right about your prognosis? Have they had those kinds of conversations about life expectancy, things like that? Or I mean, do you get into those
yeah.
conversations yet with them?
Oh, yes. They actually didn't think I would even make it to 41 or to 40. I'm sorry. Um, they did tell me at first I wouldn't make it to 40. I'm now 41. I was told in August of 2020 I had 8 months to live. Here I am.
Wow. Yeah,
So,
not Heavenly Father's not ready for you. You got some more to do here. And
I'm definitely not done yet.
yeah,
I'm not. I have a grandbaby to watch be born, and I've got a lot of work for the pain community still to do. I'm
yeah,
nowhere near. Nowhere near.
absolutely.
There's so much that needs done. And, I might be a small person, but if all of us small people come together, we can make it
You have
a
been
big.
a really big part, as far as at least with what we're doing. You've been a really big part of that, and one of the first ones actually, right, that we interviewed, and so that's we for sure have a special place in our heart for those first people that we've interviewed, and now we're booked out. We just I just booked someone in July of 2023,
Oh,
so
wow.
getting a little.
I heard you say 22 last week, and I was like, wow.
Yeah,
Now
2000.
you're at 3.
I might have said it wrong. Yeah, but it's July 2023 is now what we're booking
Nice.
in. So, and
Well, what you're doing is amazing, and I'm so glad that you did start TikTok and you did start what you're doing because you're helping a lot of people more than you know. And that's why I do sometimes like send you people like that I know have been through a
yeah,
lot.
sometimes you'll send me some things. Yeah,
And,
I know that
like
Jackie Wilson does that
yesterday, the
too.
other
So
day.
yeah, and what I appreciate, I mean, it's not like you guys are like bombarding me with this person, this, every once in a while when you guys feel prompted that there's somebody that maybe we're not following yet or whatever, I'll get, maybe a share here and there, and that's helpful, right? Because it allows for me to say, oh, okay, somebody got touched by this person sharing their story, and I go and check them out and follow them, and before you know it, they follow you back and they start being part of the lives, or they start watching some of the posts, or they go and subscribe to our YouTube. So you never you never know where that can lead in terms of helping bring people together. So thank you.
And she's an amazing woman. I mean, she doesn't have a lot of time. She's a realtor, hence the name Realtor Chick.
Chick, yeah.
But she's got an amazing story as well.
Yeah,
Like, she has no trap at all in her left side, and her story is just remarkable.
yeah,
I thought mine was, absolutely insane. But no. Because Alpha 1 is made up of AAT. And um, if you don't produce enough AAT, that's what causes Alpha 1 because it's a protein that protects the lungs, which it's made by the liver. And if they aren't the right shape, they can get stuck in the liver and they can't reach the lungs, which potentially leads to life threatening lung disease, which is not good.
and you said that you
So
have kidney dialysis plans underway.
I do. I was actually supposed to already start kidney dialysis, um, but I keep coming up with stomach infections, and have I they referred me out to an internal specialist to find out why I have what I do. And there's my girl, Crazy Trucker Chick.
Is she on?
She actually
Is she on?
Alpha
Is
One
she
as
on
well.
your end?
Yes.
Yeah, we've got
And
friends on both sides. Jackie Wilson's just said, "I love to see others sharing what's been hidden way too long." So thank you, and it's so true. There's this hiding and this shame and this stigma is just nonsense. Especially among our community. And so thank you, and
I mean,
and
I was thrown from doctor to doctor to doctor. They thought I was lying. I mean,
Yeah.
they couldn't find anything wrong with me. And finally, the one pulmonologist said, I'm going to run a test on you for Alpha 1. I don't believe you have it because your liver enzymes are pretty much across the board. But we can't find anything else wrong with you. So they did run it, and they had me stay the night. They came back in Monday morning, and he literally was baffled. Like, I don't even know how to tell you this, but you do have Alpha 1. And
So
on top
they
of
were
it,
like wrong, right? They like,
right, like they did not even expect me to have Alpha 1, let alone the bolus in my lung
uh-huh.
that's holding 5 liters of air. And that's really the crucial part with me is if I'm hit the wrong way, I fall down the wrong way, I'm in a car accident. I mean, the simplest, the simplest little thing could kill me. I mean, I have 5 liters of air in me. If that pops, your lungs can only hold 5 liters of oxygen and air. I didn't ask what would happen because I truthfully don't want to know.
And what do you mean by
And
that? What does that mean? Can you explain that risk a little bit more?
um, okay, so pretty much it's like my lung decided to blow a bubble in a way.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And so it's like a big old balloon in my lung. And I actually have two of them and some small ones. The small ones are not as threatening. When they do pop, they are very, very painful. Like, I can't even wear a shirt. I have to just sit in the bed with my arms just kind of nothing touching my sides. But I can make it through the small ones. They're painful, and I can
Have you
make.
had some of them pop?
Yeah, I
Small,
have.
so smaller ones or something, right?
Yeah, I've had a couple of the smaller ones pop on me. Um, and for what reason, I don't know because I didn't do anything to jar myself that I know of. But then again, it's so easy when you have something like that to jar and not know.
Yeah.
Um, but thankfully, I have been very careful knowing I have the big one in there.
Yeah.
But um, I was told by him that if the one had 5 liters of oxygen or 5 liters of air, or the one that had even three, I wouldn't make it to the
It
hospital. I
would reduce
probably,
your oxygen capacity, right? So the irony is that you've got a part of your lung that is kind of blown up, if you will, but it still has oxygen and is helping, right? And so if
no, it's not doing nothing.
oh
That
really?
lung don't do anything. Yes.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
the lower lobe is actually collapsed because of the bolus, because of the weight of it. So my lower lobe, my lower lungs collapsed. There is no airflow whatsoever that comes out of the
And
left side.
so having a bad alpha 1 gene means that you are at risk with developing this kind of condition, right? Is that what that means? If someone says I have a bad alpha 1 gene, does that mean that I'm at risk to get alpha 1?
Well, when you're born, you if your parents have the gene, a lot, um, you can be a carrier. A lot of people are a carrier. And a carrier is a person who has one normal gene, which would be an M, and one defective alpha 1 gene, usually a Z or an S. Being a carrier is very common. It's believed that over 19 million people in the US are carriers of MZ or MS and don't even know.
Oh,
Um, Both parents have to have at least one copy of an abnormal alpha 1 antitrypsin gene in order for their child to inherit the disease. Um,
and when you start developing symptoms that are associated with this, what what are some of the things that you start going through that makes you think something's wrong? Is it just a shortness of breath? I mean, what would be the difference between, like, emphysema or, lung cancer? I mean, what are those symptoms you started going through?
a lot of, well, it's with me, it was a lot of shortness of breath, waking up with a lot of phlegm in my throat, honestly kind of feeling like I had um oh, what is it? Cystic fibrosis. Like I had just a lot of mucus in my throat and
Oh,
my
okay.
chest. Chronic bronchitis with a cough and phlegm that's a big sign, and also, the chronic bronchitis that produces phlegm production that lasts a long time, not just a couple days. It lasts a week, 2 weeks, or even longer.
Mm.
Um, Reoccurring chest colds. That was a big thing that I had on top of the bronchitis. I couldn't exercise like I used to. I couldn't tolerate the heat. I couldn't tolerate the cold. I couldn't tolerate picking up as much weight as I even used to. That was a big one for me. I have year-round allergies, so that's a big one for me too. And then the just having the bronchitis all the time. Um,
Now, and
and
share.
I had a lot of pain since I had the bolus. So I had a lot of pain on my side that was so unexplainable for so long until they finally, I don't know how they didn't see it before, but until they finally did find the bolus through an x-ray. And I had been to probably 6, 7 different doctors before they found it.
Is the condition between your lungs and your kidneys related, or is that just something completely separate that has now happened?
Um, it can be, like I said, alpha one can be a very, very dangerous disease. Um, when your liver functions not working right, obviously your liver and your kidneys work together. So it makes it harder on the kidneys. So yes, a lot of times it
Oh,
will
because
cause.
A1 does have a little bit more of a connection with your liver, particularly.
Yes,
Oh,
because it
okay,
can affect your liver or your lungs.
okay.
Me, it just is affecting my lungs instead of my liver. But
And
in
then
a
it
way, it is
starts affecting all organ, and it could affect other organs too, right? It's not like it's just
right.
isolate. Okay.
Yeah. So it can kind of spread its way through your body. They don't know that my kidney disease is connected to the Alpha 1 yet. Um, like I said, I have to go see the internal medicine doctor, and um, I gotta do more with the. I always say this wrong. The necrologist or the kidney doctor that only focuses on kidneys. Um, so
And that was the kidney. That's something that has developed even since our last interview, right?
yeah,
That, that was something that's new.
yeah. Which I did kind of think something was wrong because I was only using the restroom maybe once or twice a day. Um, and my fluid intake was way more than my output.
Uh huh.
And so that kind of gave me a little,
Red flag.
hint of, hey, something's not going on right in your body. You need to have this looked at. So,
And I have the three crazy trucker chick on our end. I followed you, my friend. Thank you for joining us, and she's got a lot of information that
got
she's
Alpha 1.
yeah she
That's my Alpha 1
yeah,
sister.
so she's sharing some things on our end. So thank you for doing that. People are really interested in wanting to kind of understand your story a little bit more, and she's helping with that. I mean, obviously, you've done your research, you got some notes, but sometimes these things can be complicated, and we're trying to even learn what we have ourselves, right?
Yes,
To be able to then be in a position where we can, explain it to somebody else. Um,
yes. I
and
learn something new every day about my condition that
yeah,
I didn't know. I mean, and even my teeth. I hate to bring it up, but obviously, everyone can tell my teeth aren't in the best shape, and that's because of the deficiency from the Alpha 1 and the medication and all the things I've taken over the years.
yeah,
Not to mention, like gingivitis and all that stuff that, it causes.
yeah. Well, and you've been so brave to share some of these things, and then it really touched me when I watched your post and you started sharing even more. And you're not only bringing awareness to these, physical challenges, some things that are a little bit more obvious, but you started sharing some of the things that you even started expounding on a little bit more here with what happened with your past. Why start sharing more, and what drives you to share these painful things that are oftentimes so personal? What is it that you're wanting to really achieve through doing that?
You know, I think honestly, I do it a little bit for myself, um, as well, to kind of, you know, when you put something out in the atmosphere and it becomes more real
Okay.
and it becomes a little bit more easier to deal with.
Okay.
And, I think I told you this before. I want to leave an impact. I want people to know who I am, what I did go through, what I have survived, and like you just said, and even the personal things that I
Yeah.
did share.
Yeah.
I just want people to know, like, everything that I have went through, and that you can do it too. You
Yeah.
can do it too.
It helps you not
You're
only
not.
with the coping, like you're talking about, and maybe even some healing, but um, it sounds like with, and this is something that I can really relate with as well, is that it helps you to feel like it's not in vain, You know, however many years, uh, or whatever time goes by, and it's time for you or even myself to go home, right? And everything that we've done, whether it's something that we've written or a picture or a recording of us, obviously that's going to continue on, right? And people are going to be able to take that in, and I certainly, hope that you feel that from what we're trying to do. Not only is it personal between you and I, in just terms of the love that we've got for you, but um, it brings me comfort knowing that however much time you have left with us, that not only will we still have a piece of you, while you join, Pamela and others, and helping us on that side, but boy, so many other people will be able to to witness, through this being recorded, and share of your sweet spirit and hear of what you've gone through, and give them hope, that they can, get through it too.
Yeah, I just had someone comment, it makes me want to share my story
Oh,
and my illnesses, all that I am going through because of you.
oh,
I just don't know where to start.
oh. Well, have her follow me, and message me, and we can, if
Yeah,
somebody's
follow
wanting,
Lex and now,
yeah,
and just message them. Is it Malice? I don't want to say your name wrong. Is it Melissa or
Melissa,
Melissa? Just spelled wrong, it's different. Maybe I don't know. Um, but we're here for you, honey. We're
yeah.
here for you.
And even though we're scheduled, a little bit out, if she gets connected with me, and especially those that want
Plan.
to share their story, we can get them, scheduled, you know so they don't have to be afraid to, and maybe until we have, let's say we get you scheduled, you don't have to wait until that, right? You can start, getting the, you know kind of working up to have that courage of maybe doing a post, right? And maybe you share, a 1 minute post or a 3 minute post about something, and that maybe that was the very first time that you've even said publicly that I live with something, right?
Right.
And so that could be a start. It could be that you're not ready for that, and it could be that you just join one of our interviews, and you maybe in your comments just mention that to people that are in the comments, and that you feel safe with sharing. So, you know I think the main thing is you just, recognizing that that would be something that would be good for both you, your family and loved ones, and for certainly people in the community, and even outside the community, people that aren't suffering with chronic pain. They also, are being increasingly receptive of learning about our stories, and wanting to gain a better understanding, so that they can, be a better support to us and be less judgmental and have less stigma, things like that. So a lot of good can come from it. Just you have to start somewhere, right?
Right. She said, I have multiple sclerosis and spinal stents.
Wow, thank you.
Is I can start with that.
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
there
That's
you
a start,
go. That
honey.
is a big
There
start.
you
I'm proud of you.
go. Good job.
Yeah,
If
really.
you go back and look at one of my videos I did, I shared a little bit of my story on spinal stenosis. Gotcha. I have that as well. I understand that pain.
Yeah,
Um, but if you go back and look at one of my videos, it's one of the ones that, I can be brown, I can be blue, I
yeah,
can be violet, Scott.
catchy.
If you
Yeah,
go back and look at my video I did, if you want, you can share just a little bit of your story that way. Kind of look at mine.
yeah,
And if you want to share a little bit that way, if you want to send me a DM, I'm here. I will
awesome,
listen.
awesome.
I'm here for you, doll.
Yeah, I think that it can even be something to look forward to. You know, I'm surprised at how much shame and hiding is still even happening today, right? Even though
Oh, well,
I mean, people are just so afraid of what people are going to think, what they're going to be treated like. And boy, I if there's anything
you do.
that I
I mean, you get dismissed by doctors. I mean, people think you're lying, and
yeah,
it is hard. It really
and it
is.
should be you think of someone that you know that maybe is in a wheelchair or someone that's been put out there by mainstream society and they're an inspiration. Well, everybody that is going through something that has, that's chronic pain, you're inspiring. You're an inspiration. You don't have to be put up on a stage or have society, say, look at what they're going through. They are a warrior. They are someone to be looked up to, to have it be true. And so just
That's
know
right.
that. Just know that that's the starting point, is that just because there's a lot of people that might not be in that space, it doesn't make it true. It doesn't mean that it's something that is not only not inspiring, but that's something I've got to hide from. And so
Right.
be be grateful that there are people that don't think that way and that are trying to change minds, because the truth is that it's not only not something to not be ashamed of, but it's something that you should be proud of, and something that
Right.
think positively about yourself, and that the sharing of it is something that is inspiring. And that's a big change for a lot of people. They're not thinking that at all.
You don't realize. I never realized getting on here and sharing, my story of Alpha 1, how many people it would help. I never thought
Yeah,
in a million years,
yeah. Or that you'd get the
but
following that you have, or anybody would care about what you're going through. It's easy to buy into
exactly.
those lies, isn't it?
It sure is. And it really is. It really is. And you really do have to, and I will tell you, you are safe here.
Yeah,
You will always be safe with me. You're always safe with Rexon now.
yeah.
Nell's not present right now, but she's there.
She's there.
Um, but you're safe. You can tell your story. We're here for you. We so understand invisible illnesses as well. If you take this away, would you ever think
Yeah.
that I was dying?
Or if you're walking down the street, yeah, and if it exactly, Misty
You
just
would never know that, I was in the life stage. You wouldn't know. So there are invisible illnesses too that we can't see.
well, it's like me. You
Even
can't
if they're physical.
people can't people can't see my OCD. That's a very real thing that I contend with every
Yeah,
day. The perfectionistic tendencies, the things that bother me. I mean,
yeah.
I thrive at work. I've got relationships. I'm successful with different things, but they can't see it. But it doesn't mean, just like you're
It's not
saying,
real.
that there's not something that I struggle with and that has its own form of pain. You know,
Yeah. And being a caretaker too is
yeah,
it's not easy. It's hard, especially when it's your wife and
yeah,
someone that you truly love. I mean, I'll share something that I have been wanting to share, and I think it's time.
all right,
Um, I well, we weren't married, but you might as well say we were. We were together almost 10 years, and my roommate and kind of got drunk. He didn't kind of get drunk. He did get drunk. Um, and he kind of lost his mind. And
he did what?
he lost his mind.
Oh,
And he he shot and killed my husband, and I was standing right next to him. So me and him were shot at, and I have a mark on my arm where I was grazed by the bullet. Um, Luckily, I wasn't hit.
Wow.
Um, but he had crippling rheumatoid arthritis, and I was his caretaker at that time. And it's really funny how that works. That's where I wanted to get into that at. So he had crippling rheumatoid arthritis, which I didn't know how bad that was
Yeah.
until I actually seen like him going from working every day to not even be able to get out of bed. He couldn't even walk to the bathroom by himself. The only thing that honestly gives me any peace with that
I'm sorry. It's okay.
the coroner told me he would have probably made it through the night. So
Because of what?
that's the
Because it was what else it was going through. You mean his health?
yeah,
Oh.
due to the crippling rheumatoid
Yeah.
arthritis. It was bad. His kidneys had already shut down, and
I am.
it was really bad.
I'm so sorry that you had
But
to
the
go
worst
through that.
part is the guy that shot him, I still live with.
Yeah, the trauma that I can't imagine, Kristine. And I appreciate you sharing that. I just can't imagine going through all of the things that you've shared with us. You know, you carry a lot of pain, and I just want to give you a big hug.
I just want to get away from him, truthfully. It'll be 10 years the 25th,
Yeah,
and I'm still living with a murderer.
yeah. Oh, it's your
I
your
can't,
your same roommate.
I can't afford a place.
Oh, your current roommate is the one that did it.
Yeah,
Oh, really? And he's still taking care of you?
no, no.
Huh?
He pays the rent. That's about it.
He
Like,
didn't get put
I
to.
don't ever see him.
He didn't. Why didn't he go to prison or something?
Money. He bought his way out.
Are you? Do you feel comfortable with him now, or
Sometimes I don't. And honestly, I've reached out for help to a couple people on here. Not that's on my life now. Um, but I've reached out to a couple of the bigger creators that, kind of touch on domestic violence and things like that. And I don't ever get a reply back. So I've dealt with it for 10 years. It'll be 10 years the 25th of this month. And for my mental health and my health in general, I have to get away.
are you are you are you safe right now?
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't hurt me, and like I don't ever see him. He's at work now. By the time he gets in from work, I'll be asleep, and in the morning, I might see him for about an hour and he's gone. But, I mean, he doesn't bother me. We barely speak.
But do you not have a choice to be in a different situation? I mean, I'm
No, I
taking,
don't.
you don't?
I'm on Social Security. I only get $794 a month.
So you can't
The
afford to have
apartment
even,
I'm in,
even the person that killed your husband, you can't afford to not have him be a tenant kind of thing.
pretty much. And that's why I'm here. Because I was homeless for a year and living on the streets. I honestly couldn't get any help from the state, and I was sick, trying to grieve as well, and I couldn't get any help from women helping women, um, victims of crime, nothing. So I felt I had no choice, and I just kind of went with it because I was sick. And I felt like I couldn't do any better. I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't do anything. And now I know I can do better. And I do deserve better. And this isn't what I want the end of my life to be.
Yeah.
This isn't what I want. So, I mean, luckily, you know, my guy friend I talk about, you know, it's not him. He's a
Oh,
really
oh,
good
okay. So
person.
when you were talking about the person that was helping you,
Yeah, the person that helps me out is not the one that did it. No,
okay. So
no.
you just have the person that he ended up paying to get so that he didn't have the consequence of jail and he's not at risk, right, to do anything to you, but he just helps you to he's a tenant that helps you be able to survive, right, with a level. But
He pays the rent, and I take care of like the cable bill, the phone
yeah,
bill. You know, I pay my own way too,
yeah.
but you know, he pays the rent
Well,
and like
it still concerns me. I would hate to have him do anything to you. So I mean, I know that it's kind of out of our control, but I just want to send, my. I just want you to be okay. So
I mean, it's not. He doesn't seem to be like that anymore.
especially if it's been 10
It,
years, right? I mean,
right. Like he's a totally different person, but I still will always have that in the back of my
yeah, the
mind.
trauma that you went through.
And exactly. And I don't think that I can close that part of that chapter of my life
Yeah,
until I'm okay.
yeah,
And I need to do that before I pass.
yeah. Have you shared that before with anybody? Is that the first time you've shared it? Are you serious? Wow, Kristine, big hug, my friend. I That's a big step. I really really hope that this can be a part of what you can also receive in terms of healing. That's way beyond me. I'm not a professional, you know that, right? I but just a friend to a friend, and I encourage you to whatever resources that you feel like that are available, uh, you know to make sure that you're safe, make sure that you're taken care of in ways that none of us can. But the value, for whatever the value of us being friends and sharing your story and giving you an opportunity to do what you just did, I hope that that can be part of the big picture for what can be a blessing, hopefully, for you, especially if you're feeling like, you know, I don't know how far away I am from passing on, and I couldn't leave this world without sharing that, and now I have. And if that does something good for you, then I just am honored that we can just be a part of that. It must have been very hard.
I mean, I've mentioned that he was murdered before,
Yeah,
but I've never said by who or how. But I just feel like I'm letting him down by still being around here. And I'm not letting myself heal.
yeah,
And that's something I need to do.
to do.
It's very important to me.
You're considering of changing the circumstances of where you're at. Is that what you mean?
I'd really like to, yeah.
Yeah,
But it's so hard to get any kind of housing assistance
yeah,
or, anything like that around here. It's tremendously hard. And if you do, you're on a waiting list for, a year, if not longer. Um, so what do you do? It's it's just crazy. And I don't have any young children, so that puts me, you know, a little out there too, where I can't get as much help as I would if I had young children. But with my health condition, I'm very blessed that I don't have any young children.
yeah. Well, if you're feeling that you either deserve and can get better, or if you're feeling unsafe at all, or a combination of either, you be sure to reach out to the proper state or the authorities or whatever you're needing to get connected with people that are in a position to help you, and certainly keep us posted. Um, and I'm not pretending to understand all of what that is, and that doesn't have to be even decided here. But if you're feeling like that, if you're feeling either of those things, at least you're taking some good steps in terms of sharing it, acknowledging that you deserve better, and that might lead to better, right? That could lead to maybe, I don't know whether that means a different place or a place where you feel more safe, or whatever that may end up being. Hopefully these are some of those next steps in that I think has been a pretty big deal and has taken a lot of courage. I can't imagine how scary that must be.
Yeah, and I'm hoping, since I've put it out in the universe that, it will happen. Because sometimes I feel if I do put things out there,
Yeah,
I do get something in return.
yeah,
If I don't say anything,
yeah.
sometimes
Then
I
people
don't.
don't. Yeah, and I know, like, there's a lot. I understand that there's a lot of things that are with government that people might look at as part of the problem, or maybe they didn't help you or whatever. But I know that there's resources and there are people out there that would want to help you and would be in a position where they could. So I would just, you know, think about what that next step might be and the timing of it, and you know, put some feelers out there, right? Because you're, like you said, you're never going to know unless you reach out, right? Because they're,
And I told my therapist Wednesday, because I do see a therapist every Wednesday.
yeah. Oh, perfect. And
And
they
I did
sometimes have
tell her,
connections to resources, you know.
yeah. And I told her, I said, I'm ready.
Oh,
I'm ready to go.
oh, good for
So
you.
hopefully, she said she'll get together some stuff for me for this coming Wednesday,
Yeah,
and some resources and numbers and things like that. So
yeah. Oh, good.
hopefully I can get moving on that.
Yeah. Well, you have to keep me posted. I wasn't expecting that, as you can imagine, and that takes me back. It's quite the load. Uh, I I and others and those watching this can handle any load that gets dropped on us. I can't imagine what you've carried. I am so sorry that you have carried this by yourself for as long as you have, and how that has probably made some of these other conditions and pain and the past trauma. I just can't imagine. And I hope that you're feeling some relief.
I actually am,
Oh,
and I
good.
want to thank you for
Oh,
giving me the time to just talk about it, because I think that this has really helped a lot.
oh, I I know I'm gonna talk to Nell and I'm gonna have her watch this, and I know that she, oh my gosh, she would be giving you a big hug. She would be in tears. Um,
I
and,
don't want that.
and I've got people, Jackie Wilson, saying big hug and thank you. We've got people that are having similar reactions that I am, in terms of that was a pretty big moment for you, and you've touched a lot of people. It's not just a shock, it's not every day that you hear something like that. Um, but I'm really glad to hear that it's been helpful for you, and that alone has been worth it. You know, yeah, and especially with you working with a therapist, whether it's the DSS. I don't know. I probably should know better. I don't know all the different uh, places, but I know that there are good and caring people in the government. Anywhere you look, you have people that you could have a good and bad experience with. We can never generalize. Okay, so we want to, it's you can liken it to, let's say, I'm gonna, I'll say it in a positive way, so that I'm not like throwing any company under the bus or anything. But let's say somebody drove through a drive-through and they had a bad experience with the order taker at like McDonald's or something, right? But there are other people that are genuinely, maybe it's their first job and they've got pride and they're just doing the best they can, and they still work for McDonald's too, right? And so McDonald's is a company, it's a great company, but and that it's the way that is with anything, and so uh, I would just recommend people for not uh, preventing themselves from being able to get the help that they can get through maybe a bad experience that they have either had, or maybe that they've heard someone else have, because there's limits to what we can do. We're obviously a part of bringing people together and things, but when it gets to where I see that there's uh, opportunity for other people to help, I certainly hope that you pursue that. So,
I'm definitely trying, and that's
well, I know,
why I that's why I, kind of opened up about that.
yeah.
So,
Well, I'm glad that you did, and I know that it will help a lot of people as well. And it proves my point in that these are nothing to be ashamed. These things are nothing to be ashamed of. You shouldn't have to carry burdens like that by yourself. And if anything, people will look at you and they will see how much strength and how much of an inspiration you are. And hopefully give
yeah,
people
but then
courage to.
I have a lot of people too that look at me like I'm crazy. But,
No.
you didn't live on the street for a
I
year.
no, none of us are in a position to
Literally
judge. Oh
nothing.
goodness. Well, and what people do, sometimes whether it's even survival, not that I'm saying that you're only making decisions based on survival, but sometimes it's like you're saying, if you're feeling like that this is what I need to do to survive, or if it's like the difference between being homeless or not, there, none of us are in a place to judge. There's no judgment from people that are here. Um, so like you said, it's a safe place to share things, and we're just all about healing and grace, right? The grace of a higher power to help us with all of this, and that's what we're about. So
Trust me, a lot of grace, a lot of faith, and a lot of prayers has gotten me through this.
yeah.
Definitely. Especially when I caught on fire. I really didn't think I was gonna make it. I really didn't. I was, oh gosh. It was just horrible. I kept asking the people upstairs, like, please don't throw cigarette butts down. And I was sitting outside because it was a nice day. And this thing gets to my nose. It's just, it makes your nose run, it dries out. And I put it up here. Next thing you know, I'm on fire rolling on the ground outside.
Because of the
So,
oxygen.
yeah, somebody threw a cigarette butt down and it hit my cord. So it immediately caught on fire.
When was this?
Uh, Probably 3 months ago almost.
did, did you get burned?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I don't know how well you can see that.
On your head.
Yeah. I have no hair, like, on the top of my head
Oh my.
at all. Um, my arm got burned, my leg got burned, but
Oh, you need a
those
break.
are
Oh
all
my
doing
goodness.
better. Those are all doing better,
Yeah, keep
and
keep
my
Kristine in your
head's
prayers
doing better.
tonight, guys. Go.
Gosh, I'm just a mess, Rex. I'm just a
Beautiful,
mess.
beautiful mess. That's what we call Nell sometimes.
Yes, probably me too. I swear that is me sometimes.
But so beautiful, and that's the way that you guys should all look at yourselves. If you're acknowledging that there are things that you're going through that are hard, or you know, it's like walking through the hospital and you see people, and maybe Nell even talked about that, how that's also something that people shouldn't be ashamed of if they look different, or maybe they don't look as good as they thought that they did earlier, or maybe they've gained weight or whatever. These are also things that we need to challenge our thinking of, and that they too don't need to be something that we feel embarrassed or ashamed about. And I think we're making progress there too. So beautiful mess it is.
And that is very true because there's a lot of medications that they give you that
Yeah, that can
will
change a
make
person's
you gain
appearance.
weight. Or, in my case, I lose the weight.
Yeah,
And, so then I get called, all kinds of,
yeah,
drug names
yeah,
because they want to immediately associate me being skinny with that.
yeah. They think that maybe that's what's causing it or something. Yeah,
It has nothing to do with it. Like, I can lose 10 pounds in a day
yeah,
very easily because it takes so much for me to breathe. It takes so much energy from my body for me to, even be able to breathe,
yeah.
to function. So, and yeah, Stacey, you're right. You can never judge a book by its cover.
No,
You just
there's if there's anything that there is too much of in this world, it is judgment.
not right.
And if there's
Yep.
anything that is in a shortage, it's people being kind and gracious and and
It doesn't cost anything to be kind. A kind word or, just smiling at somebody, open the door for somebody. I
yeah,
mean, you can change somebody's whole day.
yeah, yeah.
It,
Well,
it's just,
you've touched our all of our hearts this evening, and I know that we have a time difference. It's getting late where you're at, and I wanted to make sure that you had the opportunity to share everything that you wanted this evening before we let you go and let you get some rest. Is there anything else that you want to share that, uh, or tell people, knowing this is going to be a recording that many people can listen to later, just kind of in closing, my friend?
um, I just want everyone, to be aware of your body. Always listen to your body because your body will talk to you and it will tell you things. If you feel something's wrong, go and get it checked out. Don't wait. If you're not happy with the answer, maybe go and get a second opinion, even a third. I got, I don't know how many opinions. I went to Cleveland Clinic, the Ohio State University. I mean, trying to get a lung transplant. I've been, I've seen many doctors. Don't always settle for maybe your first diagnosis because sometimes it might not be right. It could be something else, or it might not even be that at all. And a lot more people have Alpha 1 than you know they know. So if you feel any of the symptoms that I mentioned, or anyone in your family has it, please go and get checked because they do have a therapy, an augmentin therapy, which they usually give prolactin once a week. I just can't get my insurance to cover it yet. Um, which does help slow down the process of the deterioration of your lungs. So, I mean, I just really recommend pushing for a diagnosis. I mean, it took me years, and I might not be in this shape that I am now if I could have found out, you
Yeah,
know, earlier that I had this. But I don't think my mother knew. I mean, my mom had just turned 49 when she passed. I don't think she knew she had it. Um, but now that I know what it is, and I go back and think about the way she was, the way she coughed, constant phlegm, I know she's the one that had the bad gene.
yeah,
Um, I mean, my father has it too, but like I was saying earlier, he's a carrier. And there are a lot of people that are carriers that never experience, not even one symptom of Alpha 1.
Yeah.
And then you have some that, experience a lot. But, and my main thing is listen to your bodies. Because they honestly will tell you what, if you feel something's not right, please get checked. Please.
Yeah. Well, and
You
Kristine,
know,
I just wanted to let you know that um, not only thank you for sharing that, but I just noticed Andy's journey just joined us. Everybody say hi to Andy's journey.
Yay! Hi, sweetheart.
You guys want to know something?
Oh,
Today,
I love Andy.
today she got her new chair.
Our new chair. That's
Hi!
right.
Oh my gosh. What is
Did
up,
she
my
post new
friend?
pics of
She
it?
got she got her new chair and
Yes.
she she was going to be on our call, and then she had that power outage, and then she had to go to the emergency, and she was just so upset. She wanted to join that Zoom call so much.
I
So when she's
know.
filling up to it, we're going to have her on an interview like this, and you want to talk about what I think that she also recognizes. So many people, right, has been coming together, and um, she's got a lot of people that look up to her. You want to talk about the principles that we're talking about with that it's nothing to be ashamed of and that it's inspiring. She lives that, and so we hope
Yes.
that even more people as she's going to join us in reaching out to even more and more people that are suffering. And so thanks for joining and stopping by,
Yes,
Andy.
Andy, I am looking forward to seeing your new
Yes,
chair. I'm so happy for you.
yes,
I love you, Andy.
she says yes, love it, go check posted videos, and yes, next Zoom call I'm going to be their interview. Yeah, so um the next Zoom call that we have where there's more than one people there, that might be something that we do at least twice a year. We might do them more frequently, but the next time that you might
Hey, which-
yeah, the next time that you might see Andy is before even a Zoom call is to just have an interview like this. And so that's probably one of the. So watch for that. You know how I do the post and I say who we're interviewing and kind of look out for it. So we'll do something like that once we have a date that's decided, and then you'll watch for that, and it will be recorded and all of that. So yeah. In fact,
Me and
Andy,
Andy are friends.
I
I
saw.
definitely will.
Yeah,
I
Andy,
love it.
I saw your chair. I saw the Instagram post, and so you were talking about how they did a little bit of adjustments, and she's wanting to get a tray on it. But you guys, this is so huge. It shows that Heavenly
Yeah.
Father is a part of our life. If you're still here, your time is not through. It's not time. We all have that time where we will go back home, and you know there's still work to be done, and even when you're in a dark place, maybe by yourself, and you're sleeping and you're feeling like, why am I here? Just know that even though you don't have all the answers to that, there's still work that Heavenly Father is doing with your life, and you're touching thousands, if not millions, of people. And Kristine and Andy and others that have joined here, you're all part of that. So what a treat for her to join us. And
Yes.
Andy, I've been
Thank you, Andy.
yeah, we all love you. People know about you. They totally love you and appreciate you. Uh, you joining us as we get ready to wrap up. If you want to watch the whole video, if you click the link in my bio, that goes out to our link tree, and of course you can subscribe to our YouTube, and that's where all of our full interviews get uploaded, and that's where people can watch that. So you kind of joined us on the back end, Annie, and we're getting ready to close down. But she said, in terms of what we've just said here in closing, Kristine, is so true. Definitely needed this pick me up. still have purpose. Got to keep going.
That's right, Andy. You gotta keep going, sweetie. You got this, baby girl.
Oh, I love it. And how fitting for it to be on her day when she's been counting the days for that chair that's going to allow
I
for her
know.
to do so much more. And you guys, she is a soul that
Yeah.
deserves it. And I can't wait to see the
I'm so glad she
opportunities.
got it too, because I know for a while she was kind of afraid that they were gonna take it from her,
Yeah,
and
she had to peel it. She had to fight for it, and
yeah,
the whole story.
she should have done that.
Yeah,
She needs that chair.
yeah. But
God bless her. I'm so glad she got it.
yeah. So thank you again for Andy for joining, and that was adding. It was just a highlight to the time that we've spent
Facial
here.
pain warrior. Hi, honey.
Facial pain warriors in the house. Andy said, "Thank you. So blessed to have gotten it. Long 7 month process." Um,
I know.
and be sure those as we as we're getting ready to close here, be sure to go watch the full video, because we if you're joining right now, you're joining on the back end. We've been here for about an hour listening to the inspiring butterfly Kristine. If you guys are not following her, Andy, if you're not following her, follow her. She just shared a bunch of amazing, inspirational things, and is a big example to us as well. It's such a joy for Nell and I to see all of you guys coming together, and such an honor for us to be a platform in which some of that can happen. And so we're going to
Yeah.
just continue to do more and more of that. This isn't the ending. We're not saying goodbye. You know that, Kristine. We're going to be in
Right.
contact with you, as well as Indy and those that have joined and have left comments. But I just want to thank you for taking the time, sharing what you have today. It means the world. You know we love you. You know we're your family, and keep doing your thing, because you're blessing a lot of people's lives.
Well, I love you guys, and I really, really, truly thank you for allowing me to have the time today and allowing me to, kind of express that and just to kind of get it out there.
Oh,
And
you're welcome.
I truly, truly appreciate that more than you know. And I love you guys. You guys are family, and
That's
you
right.
always
Yeah.
will be.
Yeah, that's what Andy says. She said we're a big family. I don't know what I'd do without all of you. So you think
Yes,
of
me
that
and
tonight.
Andy are friends.
Oh, good.
Yeah, me and Andy are friends. She's great. I love her to death.
Well, thanks for
She's
being.
definitely a more strong woman.
Thank you guys for being there for each other, and taking back that love and hope into your communities. It means the world. It makes a difference. You matter. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. And
No,
we'll keep helping each other, as we all
right.
live in some way or another with chronic pain and illness. Okay.
And I'm here for you guys. I'm just a DM away.
All right. Big love and hugs out to everybody. Thanks everybody
Big
for
love.
joining. And you guys have a good night. Bye
Have a great
everybody.
night.
Bye.
Bye, Ruth.